is the SABC. Can the interim board of the SABC describe its term in office as a success this far? Is censorship of the SABC newsroom a thing of the past? And does the broadcaster have any plans for enhancing its objectives as a public broadcaster after digital migration? What time is it? It's question time. And welcome to the show. My name is Nomsa Philiso. The interim board of the SABC is navigating financial constraints, with freelance workers reported to be uncertain about their future. Amid all this, though, a lot is happening at leadership level. Following an internal disciplinary hearing, former COO Hlaudi Motsoeneng was dismissed for misconduct and breaking the terms of his employment in June. On 19th July, the interim board announced that it had accepted former acting group CEO James Aguma's resignation. The announcement was made at his disciplinary hearing, and the resignation was with immediate effect. The interim board has since appointed Nomsa Philiso as acting group CEO, Bessie Tugwana as acting COO, and Thabile Dlamini as acting CFO. Malibongwe in that regard. The three women will be in office until 12 October this year. But what strategy does the interim board have to lift the morale of the staff? We are live, and therefore you can call us and air your views. The numbers to dial 089-110-4210, our Twitter handle at question time to fall. And indeed, my guest today is the chairperson of the interim board, Kanyisile Kweyama. She's also joined by Utandega Kubule Mbeki, I must add, if that is correct. But yeah, let me welcome both of you here. Chair, thank you very much for joining us, although it's a little bit late, but it's fine.
Thanks for having us, Mpho.
Okay. Now, how would you describe the state of affairs at the moment?
You know, about 3 months ago, we said the SABC was in ICU.
Yeah.
I think the patient is coming out of ICU now.
All right.
But you know what happens when a patient comes out of ICU? You first have to slowly bring them back to their own function, to take them away from the machines and ensure that they are now breathing on their own. Their blood pressure is stabilized and all those things. So I can safely say we're getting into that mode. I hesitate to say we are now discharged from hospital, because that's just another level altogether. We have managed to keep the lights on, to continue paying staff, and to juggle and ensure that producers don't withdraw content because we owe them. So that's the state of affairs. I think we've had a lot of engagements with staff directly, the news department, the legal department, you know, pockets of stuff, so that we can hear it all and start diagnosing what the problems are and continue being available to hear the grievances. I mean, there were a whole lot of HR grievances when we came here, and we are slowly going through them, cognizant of the fact that actually it's not the role of a board to do that. We really shouldn't be getting into disciplinary hearings, but we came into an unnatural organization where things were just falling apart. So we had to get involved in such. So staff morale continues to be one that's critical to us, and every day we just try to reach out so that staff can know that they have somebody to talk to who will do something about it. But understanding how big the corporation is, some people may feel we still haven't reached them as we should, but we continue working on it. You know, we had a whole lot of legal issues that were pending, contracts that shouldn't have been entered into in the first place, and we've spent a bit of time working on those. So yeah, every day we make progress, but we're still not reached the promised land yet. Okay.
Well, you're sitting next to Sianyova. You know, Sianyova is somebody who doesn't keep quiet when things are not going well. I want to give her an opportunity because she's just known, some just say that lady, wow, SABC 8 and all that. You were part of the face of the plight of many SABC employees. What are your impressions?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, Mr. Tsedu. I'm hardly Sianyova. I am just one of the employees who found that we could contribute better by raising our voices. And that many populations, many working populations, many corporate communities are way too silent about breaches in governance. And especially across the SOE sector, we felt that we could raise the flag, in fact, the patriotic flag, by being proudly pro-governance and just doing our little bit about it. But now that we brought the organization to a point of reckoning and to this moment we have at the SABC, which is both agonizing and a gift, where we open up our wounds and we interrogate ourselves and we ask ourselves, how do we heal? What can we do better? Which direction do we take? So I am very honored and privileged to be part of the reconstruction program and to raise my hand again up to say I'm available to be part of this new movement to reconcile, to construct the SABC that was envisaged in our constitution, and that's what we're about now.
Well, Chair, you know, the impression out there is that Hlaudi created a mess at the SABC. That's, you know, from other quarters. Others obviously are his friends and they believe that he was a messiah, you know. But my colleagues here, the freelancers, will kill me if I don't ask you this question. When are they going? You fortunately are an HR specialist. When are they going to be hired permanently? Because you've got people in this place or in this building who've been working here for 18 years, 20 years as freelancers. You know, they are getting old. Well, not even getting, they are old today, but they've got nothing to show for it.
You know, I'm not going to say, to answer your when, as in on the 1st of August or the 1st of September. But I can tell you that we have taken the plight of the freelancers very seriously, to the extent that the board, led by the deputy chair, had an engagement with the freelancers. And we actually went back to look at their contracts and to determine what should be and what should not be. In the same manner that there are people, and the law says you cannot keep people on too long as temporaries, you know, at some stage you have to make them permanent. But there's also the matter of contracts that were not properly drawn up. So hence I can't give you a one-line answer because it is more complex than just converting freelancers to permanent workers. But we are seized with it and it's top of our agenda. Okay,
hold it there. We've got a call up. Butani, you are calling us from Limpopo. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Hi, afternoon, Butani. Welcome to the show.
Yes, I've got a question for our chairperson there.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, it's about the catalogue of misconduct and irregularities that were committed under the past management regime of the former COO. This is with regards to the appointment of several staff members without following proper procedures. I would like to know what will happen with those appointments. Is the board going to rescind those appointments or just let the status quo be as it is? I'll give an example. I think it's the appointment of one of the lady at Morning Life, which we learned that has been questionable. So I'd like to know what does the board plan to do with regards to such appointments?
What you're saying about the lady at Morning Live? Is it a producer? What is it?
So I think she's the anchor there. I think her name is Palesa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the issue here is that she has been parachuted to become the anchor of Morning Live, and so there are questionable innuendos there that her appointment didn't follow proper procedures.
Okay, thank you very much, Butani. They're calling us from Limpopo. Chair?
Butani's question is in two parts, and the first one is of unprocedural.
Yes.
And clearly, as we sift through the many tentacles of appointments at the SABC, where it is within the law and deemed unprocedural, obviously we will take action on those. I'm not going to respond to Butani's second part because throughout, consistently, whether it's with Mr. Motsoeneng or Aguma or Palesa now, we just don't engage with a personal employee's matter in the media, particularly when it could either be, hasn't come into our radar or else it is still under investigation. So we really don't communicate on individual employees. Until such time that we've conducted a fair procedure and we have an outcome, then we would do that.
Okay, but are you saying, is there going to be a review? Are people who were employed illegally or irregularly going to be fired?
I won't say they'll be fired because even when people go and do an irregular appointment, sometimes they follow the letter of the law. So they have followed the law. So that employee has rights. Mm-hmm. And we are not going to, we are not going to derode any person's rights. However, if a process confirms that appointment was irregular or should not have been done or is illegal, yes, where we are supposed to, we will reverse those.
Okay, so are there investigations to that effect?
There's quite a few.
Okay.
There's quite a few.
Wiseman, welcome.
Good afternoon, Paul, and good afternoon to your guest.
Yes.
I disagree with the fact that SABC is doing well. They are discharged from hospitals. I think the state of affairs at SABC is mentally sick up to a point where they think they're doing well. They are discharged for the fact that they started to fire Robert Marawa. They started very wrong, but I'm not there. Now, here is a question for Wiseman is paying DSTV, but is watching Question Time with Mpo every day, but is not paying a TV license. Yes, Mpo now is paying TV license every month, is up to date, but you don't have a chance of watching SABC channel 404. Do you think you guys are treating Mpo very well? Because Wiseman, let's say, he don't pay TV license, he's only paying his DSTV, but he's always watching SABC production and DSTV. Yes, Mpo he doesn't even have DSTV, but he's not watching this channel 404. So why? Do you think you're fair in that? Thank you very much.
Thanks. Well, Chair.
Well, we should first correct Wiseman, because we never said the patient is being discharged.
Okay.
We said the patient has moved out of ICU. They'll probably still stay in high care for a bit, stay in a ward for a while before they get discharged. So it's difficult to respond to something that's not factual, because we never said it's out of the hospital.
Is the current setup conducive for you as a journalist, as opposed to, you know, some of the issues that you were fighting against?
Well, we are emerging out of Egypt. We need to find a way to part the waters for us to move through to the promised land. And we've got two choices. We can create Syria out of this, we can fight forever, or we can create an intractable situation where people have been fighting so hard and so long that nobody can tell who's right and who's wrong. Or we can step into the light and chart a course that would be enjoyed in generations from now. Imagine, Mr. Tsedu, if imagine Mpo,
yes,
because it makes me feel like I'm speaking to your father.
Talk
Sorry.
to me.
If we were to choose the road of warsomeness and vengeance, how much would a pint of blood be worth, or a pound of flesh be worth in a year's time, in 2 years' time? Why would we give up an opportunity to work on a new editorial policy to part the waters and to guide this institution and contribute with other South Africans in developing a new editorial policy?
Octavius, you are in Mpumalanga. Welcome.
Thanks, Mpo. Good afternoon.
Welcome, indeed.
Yeah, I want to ask one question, but quickly before that, I would ask the chair to say they should just extend the show with the question time. And then secondly, why are political analysts like Moeletsi Mbeki not called into the SABC up to now? They are always on other channels, but their expertise are second to none. But on the SABC, there is no way you could see them. And thirdly, we are still worried about Robert Marawa's departure from Metro FM.
Okay.
That's all I want to say.
Octavius, thanks very much, Chair.
The first
well,
one,
I agree with the time factor, but you know, it's for
I don't know if
time,
some of the calls are not set up to lobby, so I don't know what to say about that one.
Yeah.
Then Moeletsi Mbeki was the second question. I think just like the previous, we have said the board should really not interfere in editorial decisions.
Yeah.
So we really hand that over to editorial staff to make sure that they provide the balance, they ensure that the people that the audience wants to hear are getting a fair share of being heard. What was the last one?
Madluput.
Oh, Madluput. That's also one that is that committee is tasked with, that looks at freelancers.
Now, I'm told there are no increases, 0%. Are you broke?
We don't have money.
Okay. And there are no executives who are going to be getting some chunks of bonuses in the midst of this we don't have money philosophy?
No, that wouldn't happen under this interim board.
Okay.
We are not going to apply a rule to one and not to another.
Okay.
But I should also say we are in the wage negotiations have started. And a negotiation is that, it's a negotiation. But we can say to the SABC staff and to the public that we actually don't have money for increases. We struggle enough to make sure we have the cash flow to pay salaries. Okay. But we are expecting a government guarantee. We are seeing that the finances are starting to move upwards, even though they haven't been audited. And we could be singing a different story after 6 months or so.
Now, Chair, unfortunately, I don't have the document with me here, but I can ask for it somewhere there. There's a document which you are going to receive tomorrow. There's a petition that has been signed by some staff members here who are complaining about the measure between News and Henley. And they're saying, we are not happy at all, we want this thing reversed. Henley doesn't have money, and therefore they are, you know, they explain it quite nicely in that document. So it would appear there's a lot of, you know, some unhappy people here. The makeup artists are not happy themselves. They're saying our shifts have been cut. Some are now going to work only on Saturday and Sunday. Others are working Monday to Friday, no increase. Well, the money part you have answered. So that's a bunch of unhappy people. Yeah,
no, and you know, you have the fortune of having signed the petition, so maybe you've seen it, but we haven't. So I really can't comment on something I haven't seen. But I can assure you that from individuals to groups of individuals to departments, when they do send complaints or petitions to us, we address them. So it's not going to go into the dustbin. We will read and respond.
What is the mood like on the floor? You are at the newsroom.
Yes, the newsroom is in a situation where the old is still very present with us. Wounds are taking long to heal, but there is a glimmer of hope in that there is the newsroom itself has now for itself democratically outlined a new path to follow, and in consultation with our colleagues who actually prepared the petition, as well as colleagues from departments like wardrobe, makeup, and so on, we are beginning to raise our voice collectively and assist the interim board in crafting a new way forward.
Okay.
You know, Thandeka made an interesting comment, I think a valuable comment, when we launched the editorial policy and referred to an initiative where the news people like herself had started talking about editorial policy. And we welcome that, because we can't come here for 6 months and pretend to know everything. So when we see initiatives like this, that people are demonstrating that they care about this SABC and they're going to do work that will actually enhance the work that the interim board is doing, it's actually very welcome. And I mean, we commend them for that. So are you handing me the petition?
Well, no, I'm just sharing with you, you know, something that you're going to receive tomorrow.
Appreciate
I'm sure they will give it to you. I don't know if they're going to come to Itoing or what, but this is a copy. You see, as you can see, they've signed it, quite a lot of them. But I have the privilege of handing you a petition which you are going to officially receive tomorrow. You see, breaking,
advance breaking news.
Yeah. All right. But unfortunately, we are still a 30-minute show. So I'll just emphasize that part.
We hear you, we hear you, we hear you.
We are still a 30-minute show, and we have run out of time for today. But thank you very much. I know you had to run from other engagements. It's always good to have those who are leading us talking to us face to face. And yeah, you have calmed down. I don't know why.
It's the interim board's influence. Give us credit.
But that was question time for today. A big thank you to my guest and to you for watching the show. From me and the crew. I'm a hot.